I'm Katrina.
I'm Christina.
And we're the Gorgeous Geeks.
And I want to start off this broadcast by saying we are not paid by Fox. We would like to talk about the new Star Trek.
The writers were great and the actors were wonderful.
There wasn't any like slow parts. It was always like boom, 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 but there's still a lot of character development. It was funny, a lot of action,
Little romance.
I
don't want to spoil anything, but it was a twist. They really fooled me. Eric Bana did a really good job as the main villain. He was...
He's okay.
I just like Eric Bana, so I really don't care.
I do like Eric Bana, but I wasn't too...
I don't know if he was a Ferengi. I think I still liked Eric Bana.
With Eric Bana's, villainy. But I think someone could have did better. I think he could have did better. He's a very talented actor.
Well, let's talk about the actor that did the best character impression.
Are you talking about Zachary?
Yes, I am.
He did an amazing Spock. Like, when I first heard he was playing Spock, I'm like, I don't know, Tyler from Heroes. And then I saw him doing his Vulcan death grip. I'm like, oh, that's kind of what he looks like when he's slicing off people's heads. I'm he can do this.
He did a really, really good job. I thought Spock was kind of hot. I don't know. Carl Urban was Bones. He was Bones. He talked like him. He is.
Except he's nice to look at.
He's a little nice to look at, not gonna lie.
Yeah, the sayings. They had a lot of sayings.
Oh yeah, a lot of the
from the old TV show that they put in the movie. People were clapping like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, they were.
Theater.
Like, yes, Bones does call Spock a green-blooded
goblin or whatever.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that.
And Scotty does say, I'm giving her all she's got, Captain! And it was really cool. And
people in red dye.
But one thing about it, they did, I am going to give a little spoiler here.
It's an alternate reality, but they explain it very well, and it makes a lot of sense, and you won't be upset, and then you can understand how they can do more movies, and then you won't be able to complain, and you won't know what to expect for the next one.
And I know that quite a few of you will complain because it's not going to be exactly following the show or the movies.
I don't even know how someone could really explain because they change stuff, but...
But, I mean, I think it's kind of refreshing.
I loved the Kirk. He was so,
he was really good.
Hardcore. Like, when I first saw the kid, we were talking, and we're like, well, this kid, he's really good looking. He's kind of pretty, I guess. William Shatner's pretty, he's good looking, but, he's rugged, and you're like...
Well, he was the man. I mean, a lot of women found him very attractive.
I'm not saying he wasn't attractive. I'm just saying William Shatner's more rugged, and this kid in this movie was more pretty. But, he did not give off I'm a pretty boy perception at all.
He was hardcore.
He was hardcore.
He kicked major butt in that movie. I mean,
don't let his pretty eyes fool you.
He did have pretty eyes. Leonard Nimoy is in the Star Trek movie.
That was one of the applause moments.
Yes. And he is playing Spock. Simon Pegg played Scotty, and he was so good. He was so funny.
I was really, really waiting for it because he went to Comic-Con and they asked him to do it, and he was kind of like, no, I will be sued. I seriously can't do the impression.
Yeah. There was already humor throughout the entire movie, but he just added an extra bonus. Uhura was kind of good. I mean, to me, she wasn't exactly like Nichelle Nichols. Nichelle Nichols, to me, is, just awesome. Her autobiography was awesome. And this actress, she did okay. She did okay. I think they could have found somebody better, but she did okay.
I wouldn't say she stood alone too much in the movie, and it was more of her interaction with other characters, which I cannot say more than that.
Yeah. Harold was in there. But he wasn't looking for White Castle.
Oh no.
He was trying to learn how to fly a ship. I'm pretty sure George would have thought he was hot. I mean,
it's terrible.
I'm pretty sure George would have thought he did a good job. The young man who played Chekhov did a very good job too. There were some parts I really couldn't understand what he was saying. I wish I had subtitles. His accent was so thick. The Enterprise looked great. They also revamped and updated the Enterprise.
All the ships, the special effects, just everything.
Well, anything is really cool. Better than Christmas lights, but yeah, it was really, really, really cool.
Well, not just compared to back then, but just movies in general. It looked really cool.
Some people are even starting to say that this was one of the best Star Trek movies ever, which can be argued because there were a lot of other really great written.
It's so
Star Trek movies.
I can't even really compare it because it's just like a different kind of feel altogether.
Yeah. And so
it doesn't really feel like, exploration in space, you know.
That still was a good movie.
This movie was a great introduction.
Yeah, but it was one of the best
to Star Trek. Like I would assume they're gonna make a lot more, and I would just get ready to just become a part of the big phenomenon. Even if you're like, those are for geeks and losers, or I'm not one of those people. Yes, you will be. Like, this is a great way to be introduced into it.
Okay, and here's a heavy hitter. Okay, they've revamped Star Wars to try and make it look cooler, but they beat Star Trek beat Star Wars so bad with this one. I'm sorry. I know you're a huge Star Wars fan, but come on. Come on. This Star Trek was way cooler than any. I'm sorry, it was way cooler than any Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Cooler, as in hipper. But I will not argue the greatness of Obi-Wan versus Anakin with you.
I'm sorry. To me, this movie has kind of proven that Star Trek is cooler than Star Wars. This movie was cooler.
This movie was not cooler.
This movie was cooler.
This movie was not cooler. No! I will fight you to the death. You can use your phaser. I will use my lightsaber, and we will see who dies.
This Star Trek.
She has conformed. Let's move on.
This Star Trek was, I'm sorry, to me it just smashed Star Wars. It was the coolest, the youngest, the hippest, whatever phrase you want to say, freshest.
I can't even say that they took the Star Wars and they updated it or redid it to necessary for making it cool, but maybe to reintroduce some people, but it was a backstory.
Maybe they couldn't make it cool. Maybe they couldn't make it cool.
Are you kidding me?
Maybe they couldn't make it cool. I'm just saying it. Maybe they couldn't make it cool.
I didn't say it wasn't cool. I just said they were. This is like what they did with Enterprise. They went in the beginning and they retold the story. That's what they did. They didn't have to remake William Shatner's version to be cool, okay? That's not what happened.
I think these are just excuses. You can't make Star Wars cooler than Star Trek.
Are you kidding me?
I think J.J. Abrams just proved it.
Oh, are you kidding me?
George Lucas had his chance.
Go to a convention. Who looks geekier? Whose crowd?
Okay. A person in Spock ears or a formation of super troopers or whatever the heck they're called.
Super troopers?
You know, the stupid people with little white hair. I think the Star Trek movie, it put the bar pretty high. With Wolverine one week and Star Trek the next week, it's going to be tough to try and beat top those movies. Let's see how Transformers and G.I. Joe do. But
and we'll have to see how professional Terminator is.
Yeah, see how professional Christian Bale's going to be. And Terminator. But it's going to be really hard to top these movies for the rest of the year. But it was really cool to see all the characters come together and form that special little ingredient that we like to taste.
What did you just say? Special little what?
Ingredient.
Of what? What's the dish?
Star Trek.
Can you made that didn't seem like a complete metaphor.